All right, Friday evening, thanks for having us in your home. We are getting started with the weekend, but first I just want to share with you another record that Grand Junction set. It's a low temperature record. It's a warmest low temperature record. 75 is the number we hit this morning. That's as far low as we could go. It was still quite warm. We bested a record from the 30s at 70 degrees. I saw the National Weather Service has a record from the early teens at 71. So regardless, we had a warm start to the day, and that's going to lead us into a fairly decent weekend. We're still running temperatures hotter than we should, just not as hot as we've previously had. Mid-60s at Rifle and Montrose, starting point today. Mid-70s Grand Junction and Moab this morning. We'll get another round of warm temperatures Saturday morning and another round of warm lows on Sunday morning as well. Temperature-wise, currently mid-70s between Montrose and Rifle, mid-80s at Grand Junction and Moab. High temperatures for the day. So here's the thing, we only hit 99 degrees at Grand Junction, so that stops our consecutive days. We hit 5 consecutive days at or above 100 degrees, 5 consecutive days of temperature records in the afternoons. Mid-90s for Montrose, we avoided another day of records, but we could see at least 2-3 more days at 100 degrees for Grand Junction, at least one more record opportunity within the next week. That would be the first week of summer. That starts next week. We have the summer solstice on Sunday. Now, those hot temperatures notwithstanding, National Weather Service yanked that excessive heat warning. It's supposed to go through midnight tonight, so they got us a good start to the weekend. But again, we're still going to be hotter than we should by at least 10 degrees for this time of the year, and we are drier than we really need to be. Like to have some storms. In fact, we're looking at some storms off towards our north right now, and this is a couple of counties to our north if you're thinking about Dinosaur National Monument. That's how far north some of this is, so a little bit further than Rangeley. Rangeley's only breezy, but I'm thinking with this track of the storm pattern heading to the east, if it holds up for another couple of hours, it could impact Craig, certainly 139 further north you go on that highway, and of course 40 eastbound right now from the state line. It's likely going to get some impact. So we're talking breezy conditions and gusty conditions in that area. Dinosaur National Monument getting some 40-mile-per-hour wind blasts. We're going to be breezy tomorrow afternoon, just like we could be this evening. If this storm decays and falls apart, we could get a little gusty. We were breezy earlier tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, we're all going to be under a red flag warning. On Sunday, Montrose will remain under a red flag warning because of those minimum standards, the 25-mile-per-hour winds. But with storms firing off in the mountain zones and continuing past sunset a handful of hours, the potential's there to get these gusty winds to go stronger. And of course, the lightning strikes, that's a whole other ignition source. Wind speeds right now, 15 mile per hour. That's a good approximation. As far as top wind gusts go, we had almost a 45 mile per hour wind blast for Montrose. 30s around Grand Junction and Delta. Of course, these are associated with some of these area storms, some of the storms that have bypassed us. Now, a quick look at radar shows that activity off towards our north right now, and it's going to continue moving eastbound. So the potential's there for Meeker and Craig to get in on it. This is the western end of Garfield County and the southwestern end of Rio Blanco County. So we have the dragon fire there. So increased humidity levels will be helpful. But lightning strikes and gusty winds, not so helpful. All these storms are firing underneath our ridge of high pressure. Typically, this is the dry weather maker, but we dirty it up with the injection of moisture, and we have had that. We peak tomorrow with that, so by Sunday, the very first day of summer, we're going to go a lot drier. But mountain storms, that's what we're going to get. And as early as noon tomorrow, I know we have some farmers markets, Fruita, Montrose, Delta. As early as noon tomorrow, we'll see the higher elevated sites firing off these storms, and then that's where we'll see some of this more storm passage. Now, I'm going for a dry forecast. If any rain falls in the bucket, it's going to be minimal amounts. Let's take the graphics full real quick so you can see the extended forecast. As far as temperatures go, we're still running 10 degrees hotter. Sunday will be sunnier and warmer for Father's Day. That's the first day of summer. But Tuesday for Grand Junction, that could be another temperature record. Also, we'll have winds on Tuesday, and the long shot is, depending on the placement of the high pressure system, if it fades a little bit to the east, then we will get, imagine if you will, getting on the west side of that, and then we'll get a nice channel of storm activity this time next week.